Good morning, everyone. Sorry about that. I had my microphone muted. I just wanted to say good morning and welcome to this week's edition of Team Whooleygan Live Chat. I see the chat room's already getting a little chatty, but I want to go ahead and just start with all the usual. If you're watching this after the fact and you want to get to know more about me, you can follow me or go to my website at KarenWhooley.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. That's a link right down there. When you subscribe to my newsletter, you get a free pattern right off the bat. And then every year on January 1st, I release a brand new free pattern, and it's always brand new. It's not something that's in my catalog. I recreate a new pattern for you every single year. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. You also get 25% off all new releases and discounts on my books. And you'll be the first to know about my classes. So there's a lot of perks to being a part of my newsletter. So make sure you subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you're not watching this on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And the subscribe button is the red button right below this video. And also while you're there, make sure you hit the like button, the thumbs up, so that other people will see my videos and know that you guys like them. If you're not watching on Facebook, go follow me on my Facebook page at Karen Whooley Official. Again, the link's right there. And also make sure you like my page. It's really important for me to know who my followers are. So if you like my page, I know that you're part of Team Whooleygan. You can also follow me on Instagram at Karen Whooley, and that's where I am most active. So if you're on Instagram, make sure you follow at Karen Whooley, no spaces in my name. And if you're watching this after the fact, I also upload my videos to Rumble. That is my Rumble channel down here in the bar. And if you have never used Rumble before and are interested, it's free to subscribe. That is my affiliate link. It's free for you to subscribe or to join Rumble, but I get a little bit of a kickback that helps me keep my business running. So make sure that you do that. So now I'm going to go over to my chat room and see who's here. There's Pat. Good morning, Pat. It's good to see you. And Marianne. Hi, Marianne. I'm so glad you're here. And Dawn. Yes, it is Wednesday already. I know. This week is going really fast, isn't it? And then there's Linda, Brad's mom. Good morning. Hope you and Brad are doing well. And Dawn already said it. Good morning and hello. And Mary, good morning. It's good to have you here. I think you're your first time here. And Deborah, good morning. Good morning, Deborah. And you guys are 2 hours behind me, right? You're in Alaska. So it's 2 hours behind, right? I think that's what we figured out. I was chatting with Karen earlier and couldn't remember if you're 1 or 2 hours behind me. Anyway, so I hope you guys are having a great morning. It's been a crazy week. I think I told you before, my daughter is moving out of our house into her own apartment, and my husband and I will be empty nesters as of Saturday. I mean, really, truly empty nesters where my kids don't have an official home here. I mean, this is always their home, and they can always come back anytime they want. But it's been kind of an interesting week for me. So, yes. Oh, Pat. Okay. So you guys are 1 hour behind. So it's 8 there, not 7. I was thinking it was two hours for some reason. Okay. So I'm really excited for today's show. This first time I'm ever having a guest, and I'm so glad to have Karen here. But before I introduce her and bring her on, I would always start with what's new in the studio. And just so you guys know, because I know you guys always ask, my shawl. This is my tinctured shawl. I actually designed this pattern for the yarn over truck using Yarn Love yarn, and I cannot remember which base. I want to say it's Mr. Darcy. These are custom colors though for the yarn over truck. You can find this pattern on my website, and it will have the colorways listed there, so you can go get them from the yarn over truck. Just so you guys know. Okay, so what's new? I promised you, I told you last week that I had something that was waiting. I was waiting for, and it actually got delivered on Wednesday after the show was over. And it's a new project bag. I'm very excited because I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's Baby Yoda out there. And Baby Yoda is, well, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I don't know if how many of you guys are Star Wars fans, but my dad took my sister and I to see Star Wars, the very first one that came out back in the 70s. And I've been hooked ever since. So I've seen every one of them in the movie theaters and most of them multiple times. So, but Yoda is near and dear to my heart. And when The Mandalorian came out and Baby Yoda came out, that was even better. So this bag is from Chaos Fiber Company, and that's their website down below. She actually released these bags for Star Wars Day, which is May 4th, and I had to order it. And I went on her website, and she still has these. This is the medium-sized bag. It's big enough to hold sweater quantity of yarn and your project. It's got, I don't know if you guys can see the 3 pockets in here. I'm gonna try to hold this up a little. There we go. There's 3 pockets here where you can put your cell phone in and supplies. There's 2 loops that look like this with snaps. Oops. Yeah, can't open it right now. But there's 2 loops with snaps that you can put your keys or whatever you need to. So, and it's got a little wristlet handle on it. Oops, there we go. The yarn I have in it is really heavy, so it's really kind of hard to hold things up. But this is great. I mean, this is perfect because with my daughter moving 2 hours away, I can bring my project with me in the car and it'll stand up on its own. You can see I've got my hand underneath the yarn. It's quilted fabric. It's well made. I highly recommend checking out all her bags. This isn't the only one she sells. So, and she also is a yarn dyer. So check out her yarn as well. And wow, okay, so that makes my face a little less bright. That's interesting. Okay. And then I wanted to show you, I always show you what I'm working on. And I am working on the new sample for Queen of Hearts. I've gotten through 2 full repeats of the checkerboard. I just started the 3rd out of 5. I'm trying to whip out this much as I can in the next couple hours after the show because I need to do a video on how to join the new yarn for this. Because I think I told you I am Lamb Shop Knits has a kit. I know I've told you guys all about the kit. And they're giving 10% off with the code of my last name, Whooley. So you can buy all the yarn and the pattern, and she has a crochet hook in there and stitch markers and all sorts of fun stuff. And if you use my last name as the coupon code, you'll get 10% off the kit. And along with that, I'm doing a series of videos on how to do certain parts of the pattern. I've already got the first 2 up. And if you already have the pattern, didn't buy the kit, you bought the pattern directly from me, or if you bought a kit already, you have a link in the pattern itself to a page that has all of the videos. And I have the first 2 up right now. I've got 3 more to go. So I'm hoping to get one done by the end of this week and then have the 4th one done. I'm hoping by the end of next week. It might not be until the beginning of the following week because this is such a huge shawl. And I'm literally remaking it so I can show you all the parts. So anyway, that's what's new. So, okay. I am going to bring Karen on right now. Karen has been a friend of mine for a long time because we're both Karens. And we're such good friends, and especially friends in crochet. We call ourselves Karen Squared. And I want to read a little intro about Karen. Like many of us, Karen learned to crochet from her grandmother when she was young, just 9. After retirement and the passing of her grandmother, she picked crochet up again. She sold her first pattern to Cascade Yarns in 2009 while living in Washington State. Now she lives in Florida and continues to crochet with designs being sold to major yarn companies, several magazines, and she has 4 published booklets. She has independent patterns available in her online shop at ihookdesign.com. And I just want to go ahead and say welcome to Karen. I'm going to bring her on right now. Hang on one second here. There she is. Hi.
Same glasses, same hair. We're
too funny. So, Karen, I'm so glad you're here. How is the weather there?
Oh, it's overcast. It's starting to get muggy. The wind is shifting, and the bugs are coming. Love bugs. It's starting to get summery, but it's okay. It'll be in the upper 90s next week, though. But
yeah. Oh, that's okay. Well, there you go.
This is Central Florida, so we're not by the beach. We're inland by Orlando.
But you're not going to get the humidity quite yet, or are you?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it's funny because as I was reading your intro, I should have mentioned at the beginning that you lived in Washington State, where I live, and we didn't meet until you were already in Florida, and you'd been in Florida, what, a year, maybe? Yep. San Diego is when we actually met in person.
Yep. Yeah, it was CJOA San Diego after I had moved to Florida.
Right.
You were right across the water all those years.
Yeah. I mean, literally, maybe an hour and a half away from each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I grew up in New Jersey and lived in Washington State for about 15 years before Florida.
That's right. That's right. And you've traveled the entire country and...
Almost. We have Fargo, North Dakota booked for early July for the 50th state. So we're excited about that. And Fargo does a whole promo thing, best for last at the visitor center. And it's a real common thing that people just get their last.
Yeah. So and actually, you guys, if you check out her website and sign up for her newsletter, I think she already sent the newsletter out that had the link to Fargo. But are you going to do a blog post on that?
When I come home. When I come home and I take some pictures, and I've actually done it, I'm going to do a blog post. And then I'm planning to do a super discount for 50th state on my patterns as well.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Well, we're going to go right into the chatting about Karen and all the things that she's done and how she learned to crochet and all that. So guys, if you have questions, I'm going to try my best to keep an eye on the chat room. I am going to allow for some time for you guys to ask questions at the end. But if you have a question, I want you to put it in the chat room. And it doesn't matter whether you're in Facebook or YouTube. But if you have a question for Karen, can you put, before you ask the question, put the words question so I can easily find it. So like question : and then what your question is. That would make things so much easier. Before I get started, there's a couple of things here people have popped in. So Mary, this is your Mary that you talked about.
Yes.
Okay, she was in Maldora too. Okay.
Yeah, and Marianne is in Daytona.
And Marianne is in Daytona.
And Dawn is in Daytona.
And so is Dawn.
Well, Mary Ann and Dawn, I have a Central Florida Crochet Facebook group that you need to join. And then we'll be doing our monthly meetup June 12th at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach. So check that out and check out the Facebook group for Central Florida Crochet. It's not my personal I Hope design. It's just something I started for Central Florida to get crocheters together.
And I'll go ahead and put that link in the show notes when it's done. I'll try to get that from Karen after the show's over, and I'll make sure that's on the notes for those of you who are in Florida and are interested. I know I have a lot of watchers who watch after the show is over, so it'd be great to have that information for all of you as well. So we're going to start with, tell us how you learned to crochet. Who taught you? Tell us a story, how you learned it, how fun it was. How was it fun? Tell me the whole story.
Well, my father's mother, Grandma Sophie, taught me. She lived with us for a short period. And in that time, she taught me how to crochet. And I remember sitting on her lap. And I crochet right-handed, even though I'm left-handed. But, I sat on her lap and we did it together. And my first project was 5 granny squares sewn into a hat. That was my first project. And then, from there, a little bit at that age, and then you get a life, you become a teenager and get a job and all that stuff. And then what happened was we had retired, and then she passed away, and my aunt didn't know what to do with her yarn and her hooks and her books. So she gave them all to me, and I still have her original boy made in USA hooks. with her teeth marks and her scratches that I just treasure. And I picked it up kind of, getting the books and teaching myself again, just, looking at the pictures and the abbreviations and doing that. I don't think we lived in Washington yet. I know we were in San Diego. And then we moved to Washington, and it was a very yarn happy state. And I was in a private, in a home, a knitting group, and I was the only crocheter. But that didn't stop Karen the tornado from taking over. And I just showed them what I could do, and they started learning how to crochet, and they really encouraged me to sell my stuff. I started selling gloves at the gym, handbags, and then I decided, I don't know if I want to have inventory and have people be, well, I want this button or these colors. So I said, I'll write the pattern and you can make it. So I started writing patterns from there, and with the encouragement of the knitting group, who were my biggest cheerleaders. And I submitted to magazines several times and got rejected. And then Cascade Yarns is based in Washington, and a local yarn shop they don't do it anymore, but we had a warehouse tour of the Cascade warehouse. And it was, you can imagine walking into a warehouse of yarn, and just have at it, And, but I brought a sample I made and showed the design person at Cascade. And she said, oh, I like this. Can you remake it in this? And I'll pay you $75. And I went in that parking lot and I did such a happy dance. That was the first time I sold a pattern to Cascade.
Oh, wow. I didn't ever hear that story. I didn't realize it was at the tour.
Oh, yeah, I was trying to be cool. Yeah, I could do that. I'm sure, yeah. I get out in the parking lot with Libby and Deborah, and I'm like, whoa. So after that, I sold several more to designs to Cascade. And I finally had a submission accepted. And my first published design, I have it hanging on my wall, was in Annie's. It's called Desert Flowers Wrap. That was my first. And then kind of from there, I got more involved with CGOA, and I submitted a book suggestion to Annie's, and she accepted it. And after we were doing it, this was my first book here, Fashionable, Chic accessories. It's still available digitally. I don't think it's in print anymore.
Pull that up again for me so you guys can see it. Okay.
It's sets of hats, gloves, and scarves. So like here, those are fingerless. They're gloves, but there's little slits in the fingers for your phone. The hooded scarf that's beaded. There's beads on that. Then the gentleman's basic, awesome. Carhartt kind of guy. So there's 6 sets of that. So that was my first book. And I had a laugh because if you know me, right, Mary, I get going. And when the editor realized that was my first book, I think she swallowed really hard. She was like, oh. She did. She had no idea that was the first time I had done a book. But then from there, just, I got real involved with CGOA and was on the board and just started designing more and more. And I have a sales background. In New Jersey, I worked for Clinique and Macy's, and it was commission sales. So I really like marketing and selling and promoting things, and especially things I believe in.
She's very, very good at selling things, especially my patterns.
Yeah. Oh, please, I have dryer on my hook over there now. I'm getting there.
Okay.
Yes, so, I am a Whooleygan as well.
And she's a Whooleygan as well, yes. She's probably the first Whooleygan.
Yes, I approve all designs.
Now, for those of you who don't know what CGOA is, that is the Crochet Guild of America. They were the first organization in the United States, and now they're international, that actually brought crocheters together. Karen, as you mentioned, was a former board member. I am a former board member. I have been with CGOAs for years and years and years. So if you're interested in that, they're at crochet.org. Just to throw that out there so you guys know what's going on with some of these acronyms. So, okay, so you got us to my next question was with how you got started with design. So we're gonna skip to the next question, which is, what is your favorite crochet technique and why?
Oh, Tunisian. I just love Tunisian. I'm always hunting down more stitches, and I actually won at the Crochet Guild of America design competition. For a couple of years, they had a Tunisian category, and I won first place for this Tunisian wrap here.
Why don't you pick it up and hold it up, and I'll put you on
Caribbean
spotlight
blues.
there.
There's a beaded edge, and it's kind of an eyelet on the angle. I don't know if you can see
Isn't
that.
that gorgeous, guys?
Yeah, that's fingering weight. And the beauty, because that is probably my favorite pattern, is that I crocheted that while cruising through the Panama Canal. That's why it's the Caribbean blues, or Caribbean blues. So I was crocheting on the ship, and I met other knitters and quilters, but I would lay it out on the table in the, one of the rooms and measure it. And, I was just working away. So this was made in the Caribbean.
So are you self-taught with Tunisian, or
Yes.
did your grandmother teach you?
No,
Okay.
self-taught. It was intriguing, and I wanted to learn more about it. Through Crochet Guild of America, also, I took several classes. I've taken Lily Chin's Tunisian in the Round, Darla Fanton's Tunisian stitches, and just getting the books. I know it's old school, but I still like my books, and I still like going through the book to learn, go to the back of the book and read what that means. What's the star? What's the abbreviation? And playing and learning, and it's just different. And you can get the look of knit in crochet. So, it gives you, this is another Tunisian. These are both in my store, by the way. This is Scarfogram. It's actually a Tunisian sampler of Tunisian lace stitches. Okay, so that's Tunisian. So you have the eyelet, and those little bobbles. Now this is a straight Tunisian knit stitch, so it looks just like knitting. Okay, and there's another lacier one. This was done with a pack of minis from Lorna's Laces. So that's all Tunisian.
Guys, I talk about minis a lot. So there's something else you can do with minis is do some sampler scarves, whether it's, pick up your Stitch Dictionary and do stitches with them, or Tunisian Stitch Dictionary. Yeah. But I have to comment too, because I know a lot of you guys out there who are watching, we had talked about this and how Karen said that she likes to have her physical books. Remember our conversation, guys? I mean, we're not the only ones. It seems like that's when it comes to books, everybody wants the physical book. It's the patterns that everybody wants digital. So yeah.
The only thing digital that I don't mind is having the Stitch Dictionary digital, so that when I'm traveling, I can pull up my tablet and start playing with stitches or swatching. But I still like my book. I know it's even to read. I still like my hardcovers and.
There you go. And you're not alone. I mean, if I didn't have my early onset arthritis, I would still read hardcovers, because hardcovers are my thing too. But I had to go to Kindle and iPad now because of the arthritis. Well,
and there's a place and time for those, and that's fine. But yeah.
And and then there's a couple comments here too that said, Dawn thinks she's in your group.
Okay, good.
Florida.
She came to the Blueberry Festival. I would have met her there if I knew.
Yeah. So there you go. And then Deborah says she wants it in her hand too. Mm-hmm. And that's just I don't know what it is. I think it's probably. Don't you think that we're already tactile because we touch the yarn and we're working with our hands, and having the book in our hand is kind of that.
Yep.
Tactile. It's a physical manifestation of what we're doing.
Turn the page and. You can always copy the page out of the book to bring on the airplane with you. So, that's no problem. But it's just nice. I don't know. I like the hardcovers or the hard books.
Mary Ann enjoys Tunisian.
Good.
For those of you who like Tunisian, definitely we'll talk about Karen's patterns in a little bit. But I just wanted to mention that she does a lot of Tunisian. So if you're looking for Tunisian patterns, Karen is a good resource. And I'm going to have her links and everything up on her up on her site.
What do I have? About 8 Tunisian patterns in my store, I think.
I think you're somewhere around that.
I think we counted about 8 one day.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Karen and I talk almost every day.
and Linda prefers a real book in your hands, but digital patterns for traveling. And yep, that's exactly. Yep. And she loves Tunisian. Tunisian. Yep. For how many of you have never done Tunisian? Is there anybody here who's never done Tunisian? I know in the past there's been a couple of you that wanted to learn wanted to learn more. But if you have never done Tunisian, let me know in the chat. Okay, so I'm going to take a little break from asking questions here, but still let me know in the chat if you've never done Tunisian. We're going to do a giveaway. I'm very excited, you guys. So first, I'm going to have Karen talk about what we're giving away. And then after Karen's done talking about it, I'll tell you how you can win.
Okay.
Oh, Pat has never done Tunisian, so there we go.
Well, going back to the Tunisian, Mary Salerno, she came to, I did a local Tunisian class just to practice, and she made Tunisian washcloths. And I've designed a set of Tunisian washcloths that are free on the Willow Yarns website. So it's a great way to learn the stitch is to do the washcloths. Anyway, I do a lot of designing for Willow Yarns and Herrschner's, which are an online yarn company out of Wisconsin. And they called me last year and asked if I would like to design an Afghan. This is a twin size Afghan for their annual calendar. And I am June. So this is the sapphire baubles. You can see the bauble. It's like an argyle bauble. That's June. So there's 12 patterns, obviously, in the calendar. Okay, it's a nice size. It's 11 by 11 for the size. Now, with the calendar, you get a separate booklet for the patterns. Okay, so you can take the booklet with you, hang the calendar up, all written out. And then they also throw in a pocket calendar. And this is for 2022. They just came out. They sent me a few. So this is what we're going to give away, the 3 pieces, the calendar, the booklet, and the little calendar. And I am the June calendar girl, and the code word for the giveaway is calendar.
Wait. Oh. Nope, not yet.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so Pat and Deborah have never done Tunisian, first of all, just so that you guys, know what's going on there. Okay, so now, how do we win this set? And I'm not going to be posting this on the feed. I'm not going to put this in the show notes. I will put in there that you need to watch the video to get the giveaway or to enter the giveaway. So in order to enter the giveaway, I'm going to pull up my little thing here. You are going to go to my website, which is KarenHooley.com, and go to the contact. I give you the whole link there for the contact form. And you are going to give me the code word that Karen is now going to tell you what it is.
Calendar girl.
Calendar girl. So if you're interested in winning that set of the 2 calendars and the pattern book from Herrschner's, make sure you go to that link right there on my website, or you can go to my website and go and get the, I'm going to put myself back on the screen here too. Go to my website and scroll all the way down to the bottom where my contact form information is and use the contact form. If you try to email me any other way, not using the contact form, I cannot enter you. So you need to do that. And Karen showing you the book or the calendar right now. And there's some other designers you might know that are in there. I know Mary Beth Temple was one, Charles Voth, Ellen Gormley.
Yeah, let me see. There was a page that had all the.
There were a couple others that I can't remember who they were now.
There's someplace where I read the oh, here we go. Melissa Leitman.
Huh?
Yep. Melissa Leitman, Jesse Rayott, Charles Voth, me, Lorna Miser, Ellen Gormley, Deb Garsky, but almost everybody is involved with CJOA somehow. That's where we all know each other from.
Yeah. So, okay. And so also I wanted to give you some information if you are not a winner of the calendar, and if you'd like to learn more about this is not something they put in their catalogs. What they do, from what we can find out, let me read the official info from Herrschner's and what's the other company? Craftways is actually the name of the company that produces these. The Herrschner's 2022 Treasury of Crochet Afghans calendar is more than a beautiful daily inspiration. It's 12 stunning Afghans to make and enjoy. With an easy-to-follow instruction booklet, you'll get step-by-step instructions and color photos for creating stunning heirloom treasures. You can home test the calendar and instruction book at home for 30 days free. If you aren't delighted for any reason, send it back. Now, on the screen is how you can get a copy of the calendar. You want to call Craftways customer service at that number, 866-321-9550. And from what Karen and I have figured out is they send you every year, once you give them your information, they send you a postcard letting you know that you can order the new calendar. It's not in their catalogs. Right. So you want to make sure that you check that out. And again, for those of you who want to enter to win, I'm going to put that form, that website back up. And the code for the last time is Calendar Girl. So it's 2 words, Calendar Girl. So there you go.
And this is 2022. Also, just so you know, it's next year's. I don't know how many they print, so I don't know, if they usually run out by the fall. I know when I go looking for my calendars, I have to hunt them down sometimes by the end of the year or so.
So there you go, guys. So there's our giveaway. I have a couple comments on here. Karen is a terrific Susie. Yay, Mary, thank you. And Susie's here. Susie from Sarasota. Excuse me. Hi, Susie. I'm so glad you're here. I haven't seen you in forever. It's good to see you here. Okay, so that's our giveaway. So and next up, Karen actually talked about some of her patterns that that she has released. Let's talk about your absolute favorite design. And I think you already mentioned that, but and why is it your favorite?
Why? Okay. Well, I think because of the memories of being on the ship through the canal. And it just reminds me of the water down there. I love the light fingering weight. It's Tunisian. I love the small detail of the edged little beaded picots. And it goes with a lot of things I have. I can wear it several ways, as a typical shawl, as a simple, wrap, maybe with a little pin. It's just my favorite. I'll grab it.
Now, would you call that a beginner, intermediate, advanced?
I would say intermediate, because you are increasing on one side to get the angle. Okay. And then the beading. So,
but the stitch pattern
we don't like those labels, though.
But we don't like those labels.
No.
But sometimes when you're learning a new technique, you kind of want to know, is there something that's considered a little more beyond just being a beginner?
I wouldn't learn Tunisian on that.
Is the stitch pattern itself a beginner pattern?
This pattern itself?
The stitches that you're using. Minus the increasing.
No, it's a basic simple stitch and then the eyelet. So you're
you're
working two together.
2 of the first patterns you'll ever learn in Tunisian.
Yeah, it's really
the
simple.
Increasing that makes it a little more. So even if you're a beginner, guys, this is not a hard pattern.
No.
Once you learn how to increase, it's not a hard pattern. Even adding beads to it is not hard.
No.
So if you like what you saw there, definitely check out that pattern.
Yeah.
Okay. So Karen, why don't you show us the other books that you've released? I'm gonna spotlight you again.
Well, I just want to mention with the Tunisian, with the patterns, my latest release was a 3-piece Tunisian set are using fairy tale yarns, and it's mittens and a hat that were Tunisian in the round, which is a whole different technique, which I've really grown to love because I love doing gloves and mittens and hats.
Okay,
And
I'm going to put that up for everybody right now so they can see it.
Yeah. So there's cabling, Tunisian cabling. So the scarf on the right side there, that's got the cable going up the middle. And then the mittens have the cable cuff with the body done Tunisian in the round. So there's no seams. And then the hat at the top left has the cable brim. And again, Tunisian in the round for the top of that. So that's my newest Tunisian release there. And you could buy them separately as well. I have them as a set, or if you just want the hat, you could just buy the hat.
Okay.
Okay.
So now let's talk about your books.
Okay. Well, I showed you the first one. That was Annie's. And then another Annie's book I did, which I loved doing, was Baby Afghans in a Weekend. So they're smaller blankets. They're for babies. And see the colors. I'm not a fan of the typical baby pastels. So I tried to do colors that were different. And believe it or not, I did a blog post on this. When I designed this book, I actually used the Sherwin-Williams painting Color Snap app to mix and match colors, and went to the Sherwin-Williams shop and picked up their booklets on baby room colors to put them together. So these colors were part of a set for the Sherwin-Williams baby room collection.
Oh, how cool. I never would have thought of doing that. That's
a great app. It's really a great.
Okay, guys, there's a good tip right there.
Yeah. Yeah, I have a blog post about it, but it's the type of app if you're doing your home. Let's say you have a pillow that you love. You can take a picture of the pillow, and then it will show you what colors of Sherwin-Williams paints that will go with that color scheme. This one was another favorite, Formal Jewelry from Leisure Arts. And I did this.
Book, guys. It's a great book.
For a simple wedding, for proms, junior proms. The girls can make it together as a group. The bridal party can get together. The barefoot sandals are huge. That's silver elastic with beads. So there's no sole. It's for beach weddings, pool parties. My nieces have them. And just real simple, classic pearls, black pearls, triple pearls. So that's Leisure Arts. I believe that's still available. Download probably on Amazon. Now this one was a labor of love. Because I do love gloves and mittens, this book was put together so that you could design your own. I've written out separately the body of a glove with the optional slits for your cell phones, and then 8 different cuff styles. You choose the cuff. So if you want this cuff and this, but maybe you want mitts instead of fingers, you can do that. So it's kind of design your own. So here's the cuff pages. Those are all the different cuffs. And you piece it together. The gloves are in, I believe, fingering weight, and the mittens were in worsted. And so here's the basic options. So you have a set of full finger gloves and fingerless gloves. There's a ribbed cuff, and then I guess that's a cable cuff. So it's a mix and match. And here with the mittens, you could do the flap down mitten, a mitt, or a full mitten in different cuffs. So those are my 4 books.
And they're all available. I know Leisure Arts still has I think they still have the print books on Leisure Arts.
They may have the print and the digital at Leisure. And the baby blankets are also available separately at Yarn. The Yarn ePattern Central.
Oh, okay.
They sell the baby blankets separately on that, and you can get the book digitally as well.
Okay, guys. So I'm going to write those down, so I'll put them in. So the baby blankets is at ePattern Central. So I'll put the link on that.
Yep.
So that you guys can get that if you're interested in just getting one blanket and try it out before you get the books. Now the Annie's books are all out of print, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
The Annie's books are out of print. So, but they do sometimes do them still on Amazon. And if they have them
I
digital.
think you can get them digital on Annie's. You can't get the hard copy.
Okay. Because I know all of my books from Annie's are completely out of everything. They don't even do the digital anymore. So that's why if you're looking for any of those Annie's books and you can't find them on anniescatalog.com, make sure you check out Amazon, because I know a lot of my books are in print and digital on Amazon.
Right.
Just so you guys know. Okay,
hey, Cara,
cool.
Cara, Deborah has a question. Do either of us have videos for learning Tunisian? Now, are you doing a class soon?
I am going to be putting videos up on Tunisian. I'm going to probably start recording them in the fall. I don't know exactly when they'll be up on the website, because one of the things I will be doing, I don't know if Karen's going to be doing anything with Tunisian video wise. Let's ask you first. No? Okay.
No, you're the teacher.
I do teach classes on Tunisian. I don't have them on the schedule. For those of you who don't watch me regularly, next week I have my appointment for my cancer to find out whether or not I have beaten it or not. And I'm waiting for that day to schedule more classes. Tunisian is number one on the list that I'll be adding to my schedule once I know where I am with my treatments. So be looking for that. But I'm also going to be doing a Tunisian block of the month starting in January.
Ooh.
I haven't told you that yet, have I? This is a class that I did several years ago, a lot of years ago, for Michael's. And I did it live at Michael's. And I decided to turn it into a blog kind of crochet along kind of thing. And at the end of the year, you will have a pillow with 9 Tunisian blocks. Learn how to do special edging, learn how to do like a casing around the pillow sides and sew it together, so that by Christmas, if you have a Christmas gift or several Christmas gifts. So there you go. So Deborah, that's the answer to your questions. They're coming. They're just not there yet. So, okay. So we talked about books. So the next thing I want to do really quick, since we talked about our patterns and books, I'm going to reverse what I was originally going to do. I want to let everybody know that Karen is giving all of you guys a discount on her patterns. I'm put the link here down, or it's scrolling right now. I'm going to go to her website really quick. If you go to her website, and at the top, you click on iHook Design Pattern Store. This is the page you'll get. We've already showed you the raspberry jam. She's got them broken down by, garments with our accessories. She's got a lot of accessories. She tends to do a lot of accessories, as you guys can tell. And she has a children's pattern. This is really cute. This is the rainbow sherbet skirt. It can be a skirt or a poncho. It's really cute. And it's also a hat. So if you've got any kids or grandkids that might like that, that's an awesome pattern. But you can go through and you can purchase her patterns. And if you use the code Karen squared,
without the quotes, with no quotes.
No, no quotes.
Yeah, no quotes.
But most of you guys know that I just use the quote. You'll get 20% off whatever patterns you purchase. So you can buy just one pattern. You can purchase 5 patterns. You can purchase all of her patterns. It's up to you. So make sure you check out our website, and I'll put this in the show notes as well for those of you who are want to see it again. But it's Karen Squared, because that's what we call ourselves. So there you go. Anybody have any questions for Karen before I move on? Oh, good, Marianne. You're interested in the Tunisian block class. We'll talk about that later on as the year progresses. I just wanted to throw that out there since Deborah was asking. Let's see. Kathy says she enjoys Tunisian books. Linda uses ePattern Central, so there you go. And let's see, love the idea of the block of the month. So we'll be doing that in the fall, starting in January. We're going to start that. So anybody have any questions? Let's see. Deborah says, I have enjoyed, but I have to go to work. Thanks and have a great day. Thanks, Deborah, for being here. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're here. Have a good day, and I'll talk to you soon. And Linda's going to be shopping your pattern shop. So there you go.
Okay.
And guys, while you're there, I should probably go back to her screen here really quick. Oops. Hang on. There we go. I'm going to mention, let me go where I need to go here. You can subscribe to her newsletter. So I'm gonna go to her subscribe page. Make sure you subscribe to her newsletter.
There it is.
It's a load. You get this to Party Streamer Cal for free when you subscribe, and she'll give you 25% off all new patterns, just like I do.
Yeah.
So
I'm a good mentor.
Subscribe. She does her newsletter once a month, where I do mine twice a month. But definitely check out her newsletter and subscribe. It's well worth it, guys. Okay, so let's see. Dawn says, my granddaughter likes to wear ponchos and skirts. See, there you go. So now you could get a pattern that purposely allows her to do that.
Yeah, it's a mesh pattern, and it has a little tie, so you can adjust it for the neck or for the waist. And that little girl it was a granddaughter of my friend, and she just wore little white leggings and a white t-shirt underneath it.
So cute. It is such a cute little pattern. Okay, guys. So next question that I'm going to ask her is, what is your best crochet tip?
Well, my best and most important is to swatch. And I know we don't like to do it, but you've got to. And you've got to make it big enough. If you don't make the swatch big enough, you're not going to get the right measurements. And, you want to wash it so that you can see what happens to do the finished swatch. And that's the most important thing. You might have to change your hook to get gauge. I can't stress that enough. For years, I hated it. I didn't do it, but it's too important. If you want something to fit, or as a designer, you have to do that. And the other thing I just wanted to mention is frogging. Don't be afraid or mad at yourself when you have to rip something out. That's a sign that you're learning. We all rip. You don't want to know how much we rip. And if we have to rip something that has fuzzy yarn, it's like, oh, but we all rip. I'm trying to think.
Preach it, because I just had to rip out a bunch of rows in my last project because of that. Yes.
And that's okay. People get frustrated. They think they don't know, they can't do it. They're a failure. They'll never figure it out. But it's just a process. All of us, every one of us rips out to catch mistakes, to make it look different, to better it. It's just, don't be afraid or ashamed to rip. It's all part of the frogging is learning. It's all there is to it. I mean, because when I talk to people, where you're crocheting in a group and someone has to rip it out, it's like they're embarrassed. I'm like, rip it, baby. And if I'm with a group, and they didn't do it right, I'm like, rip it out. I had a crochet group in my condo for a while, and they knew that if I looked at it and they said, oh, is this right? I'm like, nope. And I'd start ripping. And they'd be afraid to hand it to me. I say, well, you're not going to learn if you don't start it over and do it right. So that's the only thing. Don't be afraid of ripping.
So you said make sure the swatch is big enough. What do you consider big enough?
Between 6 and 8 inches by 6 and 8 inches, at least. Sometimes, depending if there's shaping involved, I may do a swatch the size of like one shoulder, so I can get the V-neck shaping or the shoulder. I may do a chunk or a section just to see how it looks or lays or shapes. So yeah.
Okay. And then when you swatch, I mean, this is something that my students, people who buy my patterns, my pattern testers, they all hate the swatch. Yeah. And I always tell them at least a 6-inch swatch. Mm-hmm. Depending on the stitch pattern, sometimes I'll say an 8-inch or a 10-inch even, because sometimes the stitches are the repeats are so long that you need a bigger swatch. Right. But when you swatch, do you cut the yarn and save it, or do you make the swatch, block it still attached to the ball of yarn, and then rip it out and start your project?
No, I cut it, wash it, block it, and then save it. And I save it for future reference of that stitch or what hook I used on that. And the other tip I learned, I never had to use it, but if you get to Yarn Chicken, you can always rip out your swatch to finish it.
Yes, exactly. And that's,
never had to do that. But
I tell my students that when I teach classes and we talk about swatches, that's exactly what I tell them, is cut it and save it for Yarn Chicken later. Do you ever buy, if you're making a project for yourself, not necessarily a design project, because I know like a Willow and Cascade will send you yarn and they always send extra. But when you're buying a project, making a project for yourself, do you buy a little extra to make your swatch, or do you use? No, I buy one skein, make a swatch, and then go from there. Okay, cool. Because see, a lot of people, that's their big thing. And I don't know how many of you guys out there in the chat room feel this way, but a lot of people feel that that it's wasting yarn to do a swatch and then cut it. And no, it's not. And how do you feel about that? Well, it's not wasting it because it's just there. If you need it, you can still rip out the swatch and use it. So it's not like you're doing the swatch and then throwing it away. Right. It's still viable. And most designers, when you're designing a shawl and you use this much yardage, if it's close to, if it's like 1.75 or 1 3/4 of one skein and 3/4 of another, obviously you're going to say 2 skeins. But if it's so close, depending on their gauge I may even, recommend 3 for the purchase just to be safe. So if it's cutting it close, depending on the sweater or the piece, but just for a simple scarf or shawl, if the pattern says 2 skeins, you buy 2 skeins, and I do my swatch out of those 2 skeins. Awesome. Okay, so guys, we have a little under 10 minutes to go. I want to just see if anybody has any questions for Karen before I get to the last part. A lot of times it takes a second for. Oh, come on! Don't you all want to hear about Fargo, North Dakota in July? Well, while you guys are thinking about your questions, if you have any, I have one final question that Karen does not know about. Oh no! What? And it is, tell us one thing, and it doesn't have to be crochet related. It could be anything in your life. People might not know about you. I'll be, I don't know. I'm left-handed. I'll be with my husband 40 years in January. We were engaged for 12 years before we got married. You like to bike? I do. I bike until menopause hit. And yeah, I just was at physical therapy this morning. I had meniscus knee surgery 2 weeks ago. And I was telling her how when I lived in Washington, I was so fit. I rode my bike 9 miles each way to the gym and took 2 classes. I would ride 40 miles for a cup of coffee at my beloved espresso stands that we don't have here in Florida. I rode Seattle to Portland bike ride, an organized bike ride. And then I moved to Florida and menopause hit and the heat hit and the 50s just whacked the crap out of my body. So I'm hoping once I get through physical therapy, that I'll go into my 60s much more fit and better, get back on the bike. It's just hard in Florida with the humidity to ride. It's very dangerous on the roads in Florida, where Washington was very bike friendly. Only they had better shoulders. Of course, it was scary as heck when a log truck was coming behind you. But here in Florida, the roads are very hard. And Florida is just growing by leaps and bounds. And I can't even tell you, ladies in Daytona, the growth, Sarasota, Susie, the growth, the construction, the dump trucks, the subdivisions. You guys are all moving here. So there are some trails that I will go ride. And when I first moved to Florida and rode, there's no hills. You have to go over a bridge to get a hill in.
That's the hill. So it was a whole different kind of ride. It was just flat and constantly pedaling, where in Washington, you'd go up a hill and then you can cruise down it. And there was a lot more bike-friendly ladies that would ride. We would ride together and do overnights. So I do miss that.
Yeah, so Mary Ann and Susie both chimed in on the growth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Washington's not that far behind, because I'm in a brand new subdivision too, and there's more going on around us. So
yeah. It's just, I think I read that 140,000 new people came, and I live in a 55 and older condo, and they're not selling as fast as the houses. The houses on my street you don't even know they're for sale, and then the for sale sign is up with the pending sign on it. It's like, what? They're building new subdivisions and a new Publix, and this is just Central Florida. I recently went down to Sarasota, and it was just the construction. I mean, I don't blame it. I mean, Florida's a great place to live for a lot of reasons. but riding a bike on these roads, and there's not a lot of shoulders, but we do have great trails. So.
Okay. So, well, that's your thing, though. I mean, I'll be honest, not a lot of people know about it, that you used to bike a lot.
Oh, yeah. The Cascade Bike Club. They did.
You shocked me when you told me all the things you used to do around here in Washington.
Yep. So, I used to ride from Port Townsend down to Silverdale for a cup of coffee. Wow. And I did overnights to Whidbey Island. And then the Seattle to Portland was an organized ride through the Cascade Bike Club. So that was 2 days, 100 miles each day with a halfway stop. We camped in Centralia, and then got to Portland, and then we drove back. And then the following year, I rode through the Cascade Bike Club, Seattle to Vancouver, BC. Also a 2 day up through the Cascades and over the border and into Vancouver. So, yeah, I love my bike.
Well, I'm so glad that you were able to come on and chat with everybody today. I'm so excited to introduce you to all my followers. For those of you guys who've been watching, I just want to throw up a few links here for Karen. Again, her website is ihookdesign.com. So there's the link to her website. Make sure you go check it out, and make sure you subscribe to her newsletter. Honestly, you won't be sorry.
Yeah. And the iHook, I don't know if you all catch that. It's iHook or the letter I hook.
There you go. That's true. I didn't think about that.
That's how I got that.
And then she is also on Instagram, and her handle is at iHookDesign. So make sure you follow her there if you're on Instagram. And she's also got a Facebook page at facebook.com/iHookDesign. So make sure you follow her there. And then also, just as a reminder, there's the Karen Squared coupon code to get 20% off any pattern or patterns in her shop. So make sure you do that too.
Now that's
don't forget about the giveaway, guys, for the Herrschner's calendar. I'm not going to give you the code. You need to make sure you watch the video all the way through to get that code. So, I should mention, I am going to do the giveaway next week live on the Team Whooleygan broadcast. So you have a week. So I'm going to allow people who are, watching after the fact to be able to enter the giveaway. So I will announce the winner next week. So good luck, everybody, with that. And thanks again, Karen, for being here. I'm going to go ahead and start the closing.
Okay. And ladies, maybe I'll see you at She Sells Yarn in Ormond Beach, June 12th.
Yes. So I will make sure to put that up in the show notes too. So thanks, Karen. I'm so glad you're here. I just muted you. Say that again.
I said, bye, sweetie. Mwah.
Mwah. Okay. I'll talk to you soon. Okay. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed our time with Karen. I was really excited to have her here. I'm going to go ahead and do my closing, and then I'll go check the comments really fast before I go. Make sure, for those of you watching after the fact, check me out at KarenHooley.com. You can learn all the things about me and what I do. And you'll find out, too, if next time I'll bring another guest on. Make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. You'll get 25% off my patterns. You get discounts on books, and you'll be the first to know about classes. Plus, you will also get a free pattern every year. If you're not watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel and make sure you hit that like button as well. I really appreciate everybody who likes my YouTube videos. And make sure you check me out on Facebook and like my Facebook page. That's another way you can get some information. I'm also very active on Instagram, so follow me at Karen Whooley. And if you want to check out some other places, there's Rumble, where I upload these videos after the fact. After I can't live stream there, so this is my my Rumble channel. So make sure you subscribe to my Rumble channel too. And I forgot to mention this earlier, so I'm going to put it in here now. I'm going to be doing more pattern testing. In fact, I'm going to be putting one up before the end of the week. So if you are interested in testing my patterns, go to yarnpond.com/designers/Karen-Whooley-designs, and you can be part of my testing pool. So I'm probably going to put one up this week. So make sure you have checked that out. Okay, let's go back to the comments and see what everybody's doing here. Okay. Susie, I'm glad you were here. I'm glad you had you were able to pop in. Hope to see you soon. Don says, my route is in a golf course community and they have closed the course because the owners want to build more houses. Oh, that's crazy. Oh, wow. I feel sorry for the people who live on that golf course, that they would no longer have the course. Karen, can I buy more than one pattern at a time? Oh, Karen, if you're still there watching, can they purchase more than one pattern at a time? Can they put more than one in a cart? Yes, she's nodding yes. So you should be able to do that. Where do we go to enter the giveaway? Kathy, I want you, after this live is over, I'm not posting it again. Go backwards in there and I have the link listed on the bottom of the screen and when we talk about the calendars. So make sure you just go back through the video and you'll find it there. Karen, she sells yarn. It's my local yarn shop. Enjoy your time there. Yay. Okay. And Aunt Ida, I didn't even know you were here. I'm glad you were here. And by all, spread kindness. I love that. That should be your tagline, is spread kindness. Thank you, everyone who popped in and watched today. I will see you all next week. And don't forget to enter the giveaway. All the information is in this video. So if you missed it, make sure you go back. And I will talk to you next week. Have a great week, everybody. See you soon.